Hello everybody, hope you're all doing well. This video I'm talking about shock updates on Max Verstappen and George Russell following qualifying in Belgium. So let's start with Verstappen. Now, despite Red Bull changing their rear wing this weekend and Belgium not looking like a circuit that would suit Red Bull have been competitive around the track, with Verstappen qualifying in P2 for the Grand Prix. However, despite Verstappen starting high up the grid for the Grand Prix, it looks like he did not enjoy driving the car around the track in these new regulations, saying it was like driving a Formula 3 car at times. Now, Verstappen has been critical of this year's rules. However, in Belgium, he said he did not want to keep saying negative things about them. However, he could not hide his displeasure when asked what they've done to one of his favourite circuits, with Verstappen saying that drivers now have comparable levels of horsepower to Formula 3 drivers in the middle sector of the Belgium circuit. Verstappen said, as quoted by The Race, "For most of Sector 2, you just run on the engine, so what's that? 450 brake horsepower, 500 brake horsepower, something like that, which I guess, less or more or less, what a Formula 3 car has, but with F1 downforce. So you can imagine, of course, that is not very exciting to drive. But like I said before, I'm mentally just adjusting to it. I'm trying to make the best out of it, even though, of course, it's not what I like, not what I love to do in Formula 1, but I can also sit at home and drive nothing. But that also doesn't do anything, so I'm just trying my best." Now, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss my Formula 1 content and are kept up to date with F1 news. I've just reached 55,000 subscribers and your support and lovely comments are incredible and it means so much to me. Thank you so much for it. So yeah, quite a shocking comment from Verstappen saying it's like driving a Formula 3 car in the middle sector. However, one thing to note is that the F1 cars this year can theoretically produce around 1,000 brake horsepower in ideal conditions, though when energy starved, as they are for much of the lap at Spa given the long straights, they're more like Formula 2 cars, which have 620 brake horsepower. Still though, it shouldn't feel like a Formula 2 or a Formula 3 car, this is Formula 1, so yeah, quite shocking comments from Verstappen. But let's move on to George Russell. Now, for much of this season, he's not been on the pace of his teammate, Kimi Antonelli. However, he was particularly not on the pace of his teammate in Silverstone and this weekend in Belgium. Now, you would have thought this would have something to do with the driving style. I mean, it's brand new regulations, it can take time to adapt to the new cars. However, Russell says he no longer believes his driving style was the reason he's struggling to match the pace of Antonelli, who, as we know, took pole position in qualifying in Belgium, while Russell qualified in fourth, although will start third after Lando Norris's penalty. Russell told Sky Sports F1, "The team are working so hard to understand what it is. We saw it as early as Austria actually. Signs, but we always thought there was a reason. Sprint qualifying in Silverstone, we saw 3.5 tenths loss. We thought we found the problem. So we keep going through this process of, oh, we think it's this, we change it, oh, it's not this, maybe it's the driving style. I thought it was the driving style, honestly. I came into this weekend and said on Thursday, I think it's the driving style, changed the driving style, and it's not the driving style. The team are working super hard to understand what it is." Now, it's very interesting to hear Russell talk like this. I really thought it was his driving style and he was struggling to adapt to the car. However, maybe it goes deeper than that, and Russell went on to say, "Anything can happen, but the truth is battling against my teammate, who is such an incredible driver and doing such a great job at the moment. In the best of times, is a tall order, but I feel confident head to head I can achieve it. But when it feels like you're battling with one hand behind your back, it's a challenge. But we had the issue in Silverstone and ended up in P2 on the podium. So I pray I'm going to try and endure the pain of this issue tomorrow and hope for a great result and try and find a solution for next week in Hungary." But that's going to be the video from me. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care. Bye.